A great mind in the last century of science was James Watson, known for his contribution in conjunction with Francis Crick towards the discovery of the double helical structure of DNA, which in turn has had an extreme effect on the methodology of plant breeding. James Watson was a man who spoke his mind and a true geneticist, often making controversial remarks regarding genetic research and genetic engineering. In this video presentation, I will introduce you to the discoveries, the importance, the controversies, and ultimately the man that is James Watson.
Picture me when I was 17. I was at the University of Chicago in my third year, and I was in my third year because the University of Chicago let you in after 2 years of high school, so it was fun to get away from high school.
After receiving his PhD in zoology from Indiana University at age 19 and following a postdoctoral year at Copenhagen University, James Watson next worked at the University of Cambridge's Cavendish Laboratory in England, where he first met his future collaborator and friend Francis Crick. From 1956 to 1976, Watson was on the faculty of the Harvard University Biology Department, promoting research in molecular biology. Watson and Crick discovered the double helical structure of DNA in 1953, finding that DNA strands are complementary to each other. They also hypothesized that DNA splits between the nitrogenous bases and creates a completely new strand during replication, known as semi-conservative replication, which was confirmed by the Michelson-Stahl experiment in 1958. The structure so perfectly fit the experimental data that it was almost immediately accepted by the scientific community. Watson and Crick's discovery of the structure of DNA has been called the most important biological work of the last century, and it has opened a floodgate for the next century of research. In 1962, Watson, Crick, and Maurice Wilkins were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, quote, for their discoveries concerning the molecular structure of nucleic acids and its significance for information transfer in living material.
So the best place for X-ray crystallography was in the Cavendish Laboratory at Cambridge. And there I met Francis Crick. I went there without knowing him. He was 35, I was 23. And within a day we decided that maybe we could take a shortcut to finding the structure of DNA, not solve it by in rigorous fashion, but build a model.
In 1990, Watson was appointed as head of the Human Genome Project at the National Institutes of Health, a position he held until April 10, 1992. The project began patenting many of their discoveries on the human genome, and Watson saw this as an illogical barrier to research. He said, quote, "The nations of the world must see that the human genome belongs to the world's people as opposed to its nations."
Biology would have, in a sense, gone very slowly if there had been the Human Genome Project. And President Obama said, that was the best investment America ever made, was the human genome.
Watson resigned when the new National Institute of Health director wanted to acquire patents on gene sequences. Watson disagreed with any ownership of the laws of nature. Watson also made several disparaging and controversial remarks that have forced him to resign and have permanently damaged his reputation. And most controversially, Watson has made several comments regarding race and intelligence. He writes that, quote, "There is no firm reason to anticipate that the intellectual capacities of people geographically separated in their evolution should prove to have evolved identically."
And there was a big question, how did you copy the information? So that was the book, and so from that moment on I wanted to be a geneticist, understand the gene, and through that understand life.
With Watson's great mind and important discoveries has come a limitless curiosity of what awaits us, and the debate on how to use genetic advancements may be the most difficult discovery of all.